Hey, girl. How you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing better, girl. I am doing better. And how y'all doing? How's everyone who is watching us tonight? Thank you for joining us once more, coming into the Divas Den as we talk about a lot of the craziness that is happening in the world today. But before we get to that, we got to do our check-in. So, precious girl, how are you doing, honey?
I'm good. I'm juggling, trying to put it all together, but I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. Spruced up a little bit today, so feeling good. How about you?
I'm feeling better because let me tell you something, girl. The devil has been at work, but let me tell you something. You glow when you are in God's graces. So
that's right. Yes. Yes.
So as a child of God, I'm not going to let the devil get to me. I'm going to pray. I'm going to give it to him because it has been a crazy last few weeks. It has been insane. And I just want to let anyone know, whoever is going through it, whether it just be work, personal, social media, take care of yourself. Keep yourself number one. You are your biggest priority because you're no good to anyone else if you don't take care of yourself. So, girl, it's been a few weeks, but it's okay because we are here. This is the highlight of my week. I am excited. I can't wait to get into these topics. I can't wait to Kiki and TT. I got my wine ready. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I will say I definitely felt what you've been saying in the atmosphere. It's definitely out there. And we've even seen it in the news recently. So.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. And speaking of the news, we have to get into our first story of the evening, which just literally sends chills down my back, and it's sickening, for lack of better words. But the attempted lynching of Vox Booker. I don't know if you guys heard about this. This was in Indiana. The video has since gone viral. It's been all over some of the major social media sites where a group of white people, it was white men and women, decided to team up on a black guy who they felt was trespassing on their property when he was just, hanging out for the 4th of July weekend with some of his friends. And the altercation, I guess, got to a point where they thought it was okay to attempt to lynch this man. It's since gained national attention. Even the mayor was speaking out. But if you guys haven't seen the video, I think we do have a clip of it. So, Caleb, you can pull that up for us.
Let him go. Please, let him go. Please let him go. We're going to as soon as you let him go. I'm going to.
So, of course, the video goes on a little bit longer, but to me, I don't need to see anymore. I've seen the proof. I believe this man, and even the mayor has spoken out because he said, I've known this man for 5 years. He's a good guy. He's a good Samaritan. He doesn't cause any trouble. So to see one of his residents on film potentially being killed, because if his friends weren't there to intervene, there's no telling what may have happened, is just downright sick. And this is the type of world that we live in. This is the type of climate that we are experiencing right now, where people think that it's okay to take someone's life and to essentially mimic what has been done in, this. Well, actually, has it ever stopped? Just because we haven't gained any attention to it, has it ever stopped when Black people were being lynched? It really, really sickens me. Really sickens me.
Makes you wonder what happened to the people that didn't have the phones, the people we don't know about. All of these bodies that have been popping up across the country in the past few weeks, a strange fruit, as Billie Holiday said.
Exactly.
People saying that it's suicides. Who do you know that, as a people who know of this way of killing, and it's basically because of how they look, would choose that as a method to leave this world?
Exactly.
Who would do that? No. Exactly. And as we see in this video, it is proof that this is what is happening.
Right.
So now you can't use that excuse. Oh no, it was just no.
A
healthy teenager on a football team that loves being on that team is found hanging from a tree.
Exactly.
What? No.
In public. And And the thing is, we're seeing this happen in front of, schools, in front of, certain buildings where people they're making their point. They're doing this for a reason. It isn't like, oh, we're going to do this in the woods and, make sure it's hidden. No, you want to make a statement by doing this, and as Papa Vince is saying, you have a president who is encouraging this behavior where they feel as though it's okay to do something like this because they won't suffer any consequences. Now, the people in the video where you have more than enough proof and you are convinced that this is a hate crime, they still have yet to be arrested because they're investigating. What is there to investigate? Because let me tell you something right now. If it was a black man who hung a dog by his neck in a park, he would be in jail by now.
Be a problem. They said when the park rangers actually got there, they just told everybody to disperse and go home.
Right. Exactly.
Like it wasn't anything serious. Attempted murder was happening.
Like it's no.
And they said it's nothing.
Exactly.
You can't help but laugh to keep from going crazy because being Black in America is being one step from losing your mind. When you got people telling you that you're making up stuff, that you're crazy, that you're too sensitive, that you're overreacting because of the stuff that's actually happening, that your experiences are invalid, that we need to keep things light and fun. Any hardships you're having to get over them. Get over what?
Exactly.
Because this is how we live.
Exactly. And let me tell you something.
Now don't mean it didn't exist before.
That part. Let me get this fan off the camera. I'm like, look. But let me tell y'all something right now. As angry as we are, because we have every right to be, when you have these race baiters who are on social media who are trying to get you into these arguments that really they don't want to see any sort of solution. They don't want to see things from your point of view. They know what they're doing. They're agitators. Do not take your precious time, your highly melanated time, and waste it on these people because they know exactly what they're doing. So what you do, you go ahead, you delete those comments, you block them, you get rid of them because nobody has time for that. And I'm so tired of, well, we need to have a conversation. No. You need to check your privilege and your entitlements. And you also need to check these other people out here who thinks it's okay to commit these racist crimes. Don't come for me, come for them. Thank you.
And let me add just one more thing. This whole Black Lives Matter thing is not political. It's a true fact. Black lives do matter. If you don't believe that, then there's something wrong with you.
Hello and good evening. Good evening. And speaking of something being wrong with you, girl, tell us about Disneyland and how they're trying to.
I love Disneyland. Mickey was my homeboy. We used to sit in the closet and talk to each other when I was 4. But now is not the time to reopen Disneyland for the country, okay? No. We're struggling trying to figure out how to open schools. I think opening an amusement park where everyone can kind of come join is the wrong way to go. I think they're following in the footsteps of Disneyland and other places around the world. I know like Tokyo opened up, but they have a completely different system than the one that we have here in the country. I feel like we need to get a grip on what's happening with COVID here and how we're dealing with it before even thinking about reopening an amusement park, especially one as big as Disneyland.
Exactly. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Even like, Papa Vince is saying, who would even want to go? I know that with things the way that they are, the fact that the cases are rising and Florida literally is a cesspool for COVID, why would I take my Black ass to Disneyland and be like, oh, I'm just going to have fun? Meanwhile, now granted, they have put certain precautions into place. They're taking certain measures and things like that. However, like we had the conversation off air, you don't know if everyone is enforcing those policies. People get lazy. People are, lax about it. Some people don't even believe that COVID is a real thing, hence the reason why they're out here living their best life. So you get that one person who just has to go to the bathroom or does whatever they want and they're touching something and there's cross-contamination and it's all over the place. And then now look what happens. Like, why can't we just sit down somewhere?
And I went to a doctor's visit in a hospital, and before you walk in, they have a table with all the masks there just in case you don't have one. They have hand sanitizer at each station before you get in, and they check your temperature before you come through the doors. And they almost forgot to check mine because they were too busy talking to somebody else, and I was about to walk in. So if that happens just to get to the hospital to go to the doctor, you don't have as many people flowing in and out. Imagine having thousands of people in one small, well, not small, but one location. Exactly. You're not practicing social distancing, and
Nope.
they just said social distancing is out the window because COVID is airborne, as we've been saying this whole time. So now they're saying 6 feet is obsolete because it can go even further.
It's just ridiculous. And then they say things like, I watched on GMA this morning, they're like, oh, well, we're going to get rid of the parades and the fireworks, anything that draws a big crowd. But it's Disneyland. There's going to be a big crowd. You know, people are going to get excited. They're going to want to do things. They're going to go on rides. But why would you think that that's going to stop everything? Like, it's going to be okay. It's not okay. It's not. I'm
again,
good.
Priorities in America. What are the priorities? It's making money.
Hello.
Making money. Why else would the president say that any school that does not reopen in the fall, he's going to defund? It's money.
That's
they don't
all.
care about our well-being or our health.
Nope.
Like,
not at all.
Understand this.
Not at all. Not at all. And you take your ass down to Disneyland if you want to. But let me tell you something right now. You will not be welcomed at my damn house. You can kindly sit in your house for 14 days to make sure that you good. Because let me get
you know what I'm saying? They can sit at home and watch Disney Plus. And speaking of Disney Plus, they had a big weekend this weekend.
Girl, let me tell you something. Once people found out that Hamilton was coming to Disney Plus, they lost their minds. And everyone was excited about it. You know, it was 4th of July weekend. People didn't have much to do. So they were looking forward to new content since this was a Broadway play that has been sold out and kept selling out, you know, while essentially touring. But then we talk about the people who feel as though Hamilton should be canceled because it did not cover the slave background that was related with Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson and, you know, George Washington and all that, because they felt like it was glossed over. Now they want Disney to completely take it off of the Disney Plus platform. I'm telling you right now. I watched Hamilton. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Do you know why I enjoyed it? Because it was a diverse cast. And there were people who looked like me who were singing their asses off and doing a phenomenal job. It was well written. The music was great. I absolutely love the music. It was entertaining, you know, and it just made that musical theater kid inside of me happy. And I feel with something like this where we're like, oh, we need to cancel Hamilton, we have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Bigger.
I'd rather see the people who would have been slaves back then portray the forefathers now. I think that's hilarious. And I think that's excellently written. Like, that's awesome. That's a slap in the face. Exactly. I would rather see that than to see another slave narrative played out on stage again.
Exactly.
That's just not, no, it's not going to work because y'all would complain about that too.
And this man, literally all of the lead characters were a person of color. If they weren't Black, they were of, you know, a Latino descent or something along those lines. And it just made me feel so good to see that. I'm like, this is really, really dope, you know, because usually when you do have a cast that is essentially all people of color, they don't get the same love like Hamilton did, you know, but I am here for it. And I'm disappointed that people are, like you said, I think you said off air that, you know, people are like, oh, I'm tired of slave narratives. But then when you omit it, it's like, well, why aren't we talking about slavery? Well,
what do you want? Because when 12 Years a Slave came out, you wasn't trying to support that because you was tired of seeing the slave narrative. When Harriet came out, you ain't want to see that because you're tired of seeing the slave narrative. Now you're complaining because you don't see it. What you want? You watch Roots, not Roots. You watch Roots every single year. So what?
What are we watching, girl?
Roots.
Okay.
For the people that don't know what that means, I'm talking about Roots. Roots. Alex Haley, Roots.
Exactly. And I'm like, we have so many other things to address, like the simple fact that Breonna Taylor's killers are still out running around free, you know. So if you want to take that energy of we need to cancel Hamilton, I need you to go ahead and type right on over to justiceforbreonna.org and send that email or make that phone call and go ahead and do something worth a damn and not let's cancel a show that had predominantly Black people on it.
You're right, because my husband actually brought up this point. They're trying to pacify us with all these things. Number one, that should have been happening from the beginning. They're trying to pacify us with these things to keep us quiet, to not realize that these people are still not being brought to justice. It was just announced today that they are remaking The Wonder Years with a whole black cast, and Lee Daniels is a part of the crew.
Oh God, no, not Lee Daniels.
For what?
No.
For what reason? Recasting voice actors behind black characters in animation. I'm like, then that's the case, then we're gonna have to recast the black actors who are not playing black characters in animation. Like, stop doing all these things that do not speak to what really needs to happen.
Exactly.
Arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor. Go ahead and indict all these people who have killed go back all the way back to Sean Bell, Amadou Diallo. Go back to all these people. George Zimmerman's still out there signing Skittles. Okay? Why is he allowed to be out there signing Skittles and he killed a teenage boy? He killed a boy.
That part.
Signing Skittles and selling them. No. How about we keep our priorities in check?
Exactly.
Focus on that.
Exactly. Please. And if y'all put up one more Black Lives Matter mural on a street somewhere, I'm going to lose my shit. I don't care. I don't care. And I will be the first to say that. I don't care. Okay, I appreciate the love and all, but like I said, put that energy towards the killers of these innocent Black lives. That's what I want you to do. I don't need the Black national anthem sung at the NFL. I don't need you firing these voiceover actors who are playing Black characters. I don't need things like that. I need to know that when I go out in the street, I'm not being killed for the color of my skin, and that I need to know that my murderers won't get away with it. That's what I need to know. Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks. But you know what? We're going to switch gears. Let's go ahead and talk about some positivity here. Yesterday, I believe, was the blackout where we weren't supposed to spend any money unless it was with a Black business. Right. And I believe on Sunday was the Black flea market, where it was solely nothing but, small business owners who were out there essentially with their products. And I came across a young girl, super sweet and just so full of life, so bubbly. And we had a good conversation essentially about how Black businesses or even small businesses are surviving during COVID. So I wanted to invite her on the show just to get her, her story, and essentially just to tell us, what's going on with her business. But she sells personalized and handcrafted soy candles. And I love the idea behind it. I think she's so dope. So I want you guys to welcome to the show, Miss Chelsea Guy Johnson of Consuming Fire Votives. Chelsea, you there, girl?
Hi, I'm here. I figured it out.
How you doing, honey?
Doing great. I'm enjoying this conversation. I'm enjoying hearing y'all talk about things that actually matter. So, yes.
Thank you, girl. Hey, now. Well, of course, we want to welcome you to the show. Welcome to In the Diva's Den. And I'm so glad that you were able to make it, because I know that, unfortunately, you had a personal matter. So I'm super, super thankful for you to make it to the show today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Thank you for having me.
No problem. But let us know a little bit about Consuming Fire Votives, honey.
So basically, I've wanted to do candles for a long time. I've wanted to have a candle company for a while. But the quarantine gave me the time to be able to be creative, take my time, and put all of my energy into something else besides having like anxiety about everything that's going on. So I took all the research that I had done for years and just started making my candles. And I actually started at Healing Green for my first event. It just happened out of nowhere. And I told my husband, it was what was it? Was it Memorial Day week? I'm not sure what weekend. It was a holiday weekend. And I told him, I was like, if we sell 10 candles the whole weekend, I'll be happy. I'll be satisfied. At least I'm, selling a couple of candles. And I just had no idea that, this was going to be something that was going to be a whole business, like generating actual income in the middle of this virus. And then also a creative outlet for me to be able to just, say and do whatever I want and say what I want to say in a label or in the form of anything, you know, with the business.
Exactly. And I love that, you know, you can make the labels personalized or customizable. I actually got one of your candles. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yes. I decided to get the classy bougie ratchet. Hey now, hey. Yes. The other thing that I loved about your candle was that it legit gave me nostalgia. When I saw that you had Love Spell, girl, that was my whole entire high school scent, honey. You couldn't tell me.
That's a favorite. That is a favorite. Yeah. It was one of the things that I love. I love Love Spell. So I just was like, oh yeah, I think it would be great for me, you know? Mm-hmm. And then coming to find out like everybody remembered, and it is that, like you said, it's the nostalgia of it, of like, everybody's like, oh my goodness, is this the same Love Spell? Yes, it is.
Yes. I'm telling y'all right now, if you've ever had Love Spell, it smells exactly like the Bath and Body Works scent that we all was rocking when we were in high school, thinking we were somebody.
That's Victoria's Secret, girl.
Oh yeah, it was Victoria's Secret. I'm sorry.
Victoria's Secret. Yeah. but they're the same company, so that's even the crazy part. I actually that's one of the ways that I got into candle. So I used to work at Bath and Body Works. So I knew they were connected. So it was always been something that interests me. You can't find Love Spell in a candle. So
that is true.
I think that that's the good thing, that now you can have it in a candle because everybody loves the scent for their body.
Exactly.
What was the hardest thing when, you know, being Black and getting into business? We're not brought up to build our own. We're brought up to work for others. So what was the hardest thing that mindset to becoming an entrepreneur and saying, hey, you know what, this is actually viable and this will be my life from now on?
So that's the really crazy part about all of it is I had just gotten a position, probably my happiest position, like the best position I was waiting for in hospitality as a supervisor. And I completely had to shift gears because I had finally gotten myself into a mode of like, I'm going to do this for I don't know how many years, and I'm going to work up to this point, and I'm going to, you know, but my grandmother has always told me she never thought I was supposed to work for anybody. She always told me that she felt like I would just be better suited doing my own business, working for myself, because I'm just, I'm a free spirit. I'm a free spirit. I like to do what I want. You know what I'm saying? But there's a certain level of excellence that wouldn't even allow me to be in this space to even do the candles, because I don't like putting out products that are not top notch, you know. It was a lot of this. I think I had to eliminate the self-doubt because I'm one that goes over things like 20 times in my head, you know, and I'm like, maybe I'll start later, you know. And so I feel like that's what I've had to do. I had to change mindsets to give myself the push, to motivate myself, to say, hey, like, you can do this. And I don't think of it as a way even to make, I don't necessarily think about making money.
Right.
I know that's crazy, but I don't. I'm literally focused on, I get to create something, and then I also get to say something that when I'm in the hospitality industry, I don't have an opinion. I can't say anything. I can't put what I feel or what I like at that time. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't wear certain things. I can't be certain things in certain environments, you know? So, I think I've just focused on the positive there, and it's just been great, you know?
And you know what else I loved about you? When I came over to your table, first of all, your energy was amazing. You know, you legitimately were like, you know, hey, we have this great product. You literally went into entrepreneur mode, which I love. Yeah. But also the fact that your husband was right beside you,
yes,
supporting you, making sure that you were good, that he was helping you, was very fun. So how has that helped you? Because a lot of people don't have the help.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that it really does help you when somebody believes in you. He believed in me from the beginning. We've been talking about this for years. And he was just like, yeah, I think you need to go ahead and do it. I think you need to go ahead and do it. And it's just like, I just kept talking myself out of it. When we were over quarantine, he was just like, well, you might as well do it now. I'm off of work. He's never off of work. I'm off of work, so you can just go ahead and do it. And even after I put up my website, I had all these high hopes, and I put it out on the website and I didn't have any sales, like at all. And he was just like, oh, it's going to come. And once it comes, it's just going to take off, So it's become something that has almost been like therapeutic even for us, because we're able to spend so much more time. We know that when we go out to these events or when we're getting the candles ready, that's time that we're spending. And that can only contribute to, a marriage in itself, is spending more time with each other, time that we don't have. We have 3 little kids. So we don't normally get the time to do anything. So yeah, I'm so thankful for his support.
Yes, girl. Now, when we're talking candles, it's a huge industry. And some of the people who have taken over candles are, the usuals, the Yankee Candle, Bath and Body Works, things like that. People automatically gravitate to because they believe that is quality. How do you separate yourself, in an oversaturated market?
Yeah, and that's the thing that you have to think about too. People think of candles and they automatically gravitate towards Yankee Candle and, Bath and Body Works and things like that. But this is an industry that is literally oversaturated, like in your neighborhood. Like there is between there's maybe 5 and 6 candle makers in your little area, and you get to see the competition. I think that what I decided to do was completely different because I wanted to do different label designs. That takes a lot in itself. So not only am I taking the time to actually make the product, which has to be good, can't just throw a label on something that isn't really great. Now I just completely did something different, and I'm designing all the time. So anything that I feel, anything that I'm thinking about, whatever music I'm listening to, that can very well make it into a label. And that takes a lot of time. So what you'll find is you'll see a lot of candle makers, even in this area, but you can't customize it. You're going to get the same thing from a candle anywhere, but you can gift mine to people. Mine are going to be aesthetically pleasing. They're going to make you think about all different kind of things. And that's what I appreciate about what I'm doing now. Basically, I know that when I go out to a market, I'm going to be set apart because I'm not going to do anything like anybody else. And even so, when other people do put sayings and things on labels, I'm happy with it, simply because I know it takes so much time to sit there and do every single little thing that's just gonna get old for somebody else. So yeah, I'm excited about everything I get to do with it.
And what would you say is essentially the best part about being an entrepreneur? Because I know people often say like, oh, it's the freedom, but there's a lot more that comes with being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's and when people say freedom, I don't think they really are taking into account that like you work a lot more when you are an entrepreneur. You don't necessarily have the 9 to 5. Like I'm making candles and I have my baby right here. Like my little baby's up at night. My 4-month-old is with me and I got my kids running around. You know what I'm saying? I basically feel that as an entrepreneur, the thing is you're uncapped. You know what I'm saying? You're uncapped. If I work 40 something hours a week, I'm going to get this amount and this amount and that amount. There is the potential to make whatever it is that you want to. And I see a lot of Black-owned businesses that have popped up during COVID, and they're doing so much better than what they can even imagine. So I think that's the part that I love about it, because there's no limit on myself. I can only push myself even further. I got to make more products so I can put them out there, make something different, always thinking of different things to offer. And that's something that you're not going to be able to do in a standard environment, you know?
Right. And I know that this may seem like a silly question, but I literally think about this whenever I go candle shopping. Because sometimes you'll smell a candle and you'll be like, this stinks. Like, who in the world would want this burning in their house? You're actually going through and picking out your different scents. Because I noticed you had Sea Breeze and you had another one called Tobacco. What was it called?
Tobacco and honey. I just made a citrus and cedarwood. When I first got into the candle making process, I tried to play it safe. And I tried to find fragrances that, you know, get the standard fragrances that I thought would really, really sell really great. I didn't try to tweak them at all. I just, you know, worked my magic as far as the concentration and things like that, which is a lot of math and involved in like making candles. So now what I'm doing is I might order maybe like 20 different fragrances, and then I'll just put 3 and 4 of something together. I don't know how it happens. I don't know what I'm thinking. Sometimes even my husband will be like, I don't think that's gonna work. One of the ones that he didn't think was gonna work was like a huge hit over the weekend though. So like I literally just smell something. If I think that it'll pair nicely with something else, if it's completely different, then that's just what I go off of. But then when I test, you have to test, burn, you know, everything that you have. Then I'm able to test my own product and say, hey, yeah, because I'm not taking anything out that I'm not happy with myself. What I do find is most people will say, why do you have so many fragrances? Because there's always something for somebody, and somebody's gonna like something that another person doesn't like. Somebody is gonna think this stinks completely, but then there's another person that will run up and be like, this is it, this is perfect. Exactly. You know? So yeah, I feel like me making myself broad, I have like over 14 different fragrances right now, and I just keep adding. I do in small batches, and that's what I think is really allowing me to get all kinds of people, you know.
And I love that not only do you have the candles, but you also have the wax melts, which a lot of people are starting to gravitate to as well. And I'm like, kudos to you for like, I might have candles, but I also got this. Hey now, hey.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. When you find like when you're an entrepreneur, you know, you find that you're constantly thinking all the time about something else, something new. I knew I wanted to do wax melts, but I said, I don't want to do regular wax melts. I want to do completely different wax melts. I want mine, I call them figured wax melts. And I want all the different cute little shapes that, you know, and it's things, the tiny things, like the little details that, you know, it's going to burn, you know, and it's going to be a pool of wax, but I feel like it's cute. I would pick it up, you know. I like little unicorns and wine bottles and things like that. Why not? You know? And that's just what I continuously do, try to add something new. I've got like 4 different other ideas as well. I don't want to just be stuck on one thing. You know, I want to do car fragrances. I want to do massage candles. I want to do sage sticks. I want to do fragrance sage sticks. You see what I'm saying? Like I want to do it all, you know?
Right. Absolutely. Well, I am so proud of you. And I think you were so dope. I love the idea. Just, you know, keep pushing. And I want you guys to also to support. Spending your money with these big companies, buy local and make it a habit of buying local. So I think we actually have your website and your Instagram where people can follow you, which is also, you know, your Facebook. So please make sure you are following, make a purchase. And I think your candles burn for how long?
I have the 11. I got one here to show here because this is one of the ones that I was really excited about. The One Man Can Change the World. I don't know if everybody can see that with George Floyd on it. These are my standard 11-ounce candles, and they burn for over 50 hours. So I have an over 50-hour burn time for mine, which you're finding when you go to Bath and Body Works and things like that. They have a 14-ounce candles. You know, they have 14 ounces. Mine are 11 ounce. Mine have 50-hour burn time. They don't always put burn times on their candles because they can't necessarily, put that out there, and then it's not like that. They'll lose like so much money. But like I said, every candle maker will test, and they know exactly, how many hours you can get. And mine are always going to be like high intensity to where you're not going to get it. A lot of people have a problem with soy because candle makers will say, hey, yeah, I want to do all natural soy, but you can smell it when you get it. And then when you go home and burn it, you can't burn it. I use a specific method where when you burn it, it's going to smell like probably even better than what it smells like with the can. So I feel like that's what's taken me far, is not only do I have the design, but the quality is really great too.
Boom. There you go. So please, guys, make sure you support. Buy a candle, personalize it. If you know somebody in your life who needs a candle because they just need to leave, look, get yourself a candle. Period. Follow, even if you don't have the funds right now, but follow, share, support.
Yes, follow everything.
Let's make a habit of buying Black to where we don't have to say buying Black, but we are just buying. Period.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Chelsea. You are awesome. We will be in contact because I told you about my idea, girl. So
yes,
we going.
It definitely keep continuing to write me, giving any ideas, whatever I can do. I do custom everything. So
listen, let me tell y'all something. In the Divas Den is coming with bigger and better things. So y'all better keep watching, honey. Better keep watching. Bow. Thank you, Chelsea, girl.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, girl. So how you feeling, honey?
I'm feeling good. I feel relaxed now, actually, after we talk about candles.
You look like you want to sleep, girl.
Oh, I feel good. It's good to see success in different ways and see the light in her eyes of how she went from having a job that probably would have been a dream job at one point, but then actually stepping full force into providing for herself in her own way. That's really
exactly. Exactly. Thank you guys once again for joining us. You guys are so awesome. We will definitely be back next week. We are all on this whole movement of supporting Black businesses. So I am going to try my best to make sure that each week we have a new Black business for you guys to support. But until then, make sure you are sharing, following, commenting, all of that stuff. If you have any ideas, hit us up in the divasden@gmail.com. We got you. And yeah, that's pretty much it on my side. What about you, girl?
That's it for me too. I mean, actually, I will make an announcement. On Friday the 17th, I was a part of a film called Will Not Can't. And if you follow me on social media, you'll see when that comes out. Actually did some sound design and motion graphics on it. So on Friday the 17th, look out for Will Not Can't, directed by D. McTaylorson.
Dope. Support. Boop, boop, boop. All right, y'all. Bye.